Welcome back to my channel. It is a gloomy, rainy afternoon in South Florida, and I'm going to use this time to talk about the Murdaugh family. If you have not heard about this case, you are in for a wild ride. It is one of the most just insane, twisted, convoluted stories ever, and it's still going. It hasn't stopped. There's podcasts on this family, like literally podcasts dedicated to this family and all their drama. No better time than now. Let's just get into it. Let's go. Okay, brief interruption before we actually get into it, because I just filmed and I realized halfway through the video that I was saying the dad's name wrong. I've done this before. It's not my first time, not my first rodeo. His name is Alec. In my defense, it is spelled Alex, but for whatever reason, this sick and twisted family wanted to spell it Alex, but pronounce it Alec. And also, they wanted to spell their last name Murdaugh, but pronounce it Murdaugh. So go figure. Anyway, that's my short disclaimer. Let's get into the video. You already know, I got my notes because, like I said, this is just so twisted that even my photographic memory, I don't think could remember every single detail. So we're gonna start with the family members. We have Alex, who is the dad, Maggie, who's the mom, Buster, who is one of the two sons, and Paul, the other son. So we got Alex, Maggie, Buster, and Paul. Keep in mind, this family has a long history being a part of the judicial system in South Carolina. Their family history is filled with lawyers and judges and just prominent people in the judicial system. Only one word comes to mind, and that is corrupt. So we're gonna start in 2015 when a 19-year-old kid that Buster went to school with was found dead in the middle of the road in Hampton County where the Murdaugh family lives. At the time, this kid's death was ruled a hit and run, despite there being no skid marks, no corroborating evidence of a vehicle being in the area, despite the state trooper's notes from the incident that say there was no evidence that the victim was hit by a vehicle. But yet the death was still ruled a hit and run. Now, Buster went to school with this kid. I believe his name was Steven, and it was rumored that they may have been in a secret relationship, but that's not totally clear. That's not 100%. It's just a rumor. But this case was actually just recently reopened because of all the drama that follows. So let's keep going. In 2018, just 3 years after Buster's classmate was found dead in the middle of the road, the Murdaugh's family housekeeper tripped and fell down the stairs of the Murdaugh family home and died as a result. Now, it's important to note that Gloria's cause of death, Gloria is the family maid, if I didn't say that already, her cause of death was ruled to be natural causes, despite her death never being reported to the coroner, an autopsy never being conducted, yet her death was a result of natural causes after she fell down the stairs. So after she trips and falls down the stairs, Alex Murdaugh, the father of the family, says to Gloria's family, the maid's family, specifically the maid's sons, he says to them, look guys, I want to set you up. I want to get you compensation, essentially, for your mother's death. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna set you up with an attorney I know, failed to disclose that this was a long-time, very close friend. He says, I'm gonna set you up with an attorney I know. His name was Corey Fleming, and you are going to sue my insurance company. And I am going to totally admit fault, not even a question. It's all on me. I got you guys, and we're gonna get you, the insurance proceeds that you deserve. So what do Gloria's kids do? They file suit. They use Corey Fleming, the attorney, and Alec admitted fault. And because Alec admitted fault, the insurance company obviously wasn't going to take the case to trial because they knew they would lose, because Alec is saying it's his fault. It's his fault. When Gloria's kids sued. Corey Fleming appointed a personal representative of Gloria's estate, because when someone dies and you sue on behalf of that person, it's no longer, the person suing is no longer that person because they're deceased. So it becomes that person's estate. And whenever you file a lawsuit on behalf of someone's estate, there has to be a personal representative that represents that estate. So Corey Fleming, the attorney, appointed some vice president of a bank as the personal representative of Gloria's estate. Now, this is fishy right off the bat because Gloria's kids could have been the personal representative. There's no reason that they couldn't. And the jobs of the personal representative are to petition the court for approval of settlement funds, attend hearings, including hearings regarding settlement. So something was off from the beginning. Now, remember how I said the insurance company didn't take this case to trial. They settled because Alec admitted fault. They settled for $4.3 million, okay? Gloria's kids didn't even know of the settlement until this came out in the press in September 2021, over 3.5 years later. The kids never knew that their case against Alec's insurance company was settled. Never knew. So, in September of 2021, Gloria's kids filed another lawsuit alleging civil conspiracy, along with other things, but that's what's important for now. And now they're trying to see that money because no one knows where it went. I think I know, just a guess, but I think that Corey Fleming took his $177,000 of attorney's fees, and maybe the rest of the money went through the personal representative to Alec Murdaugh. Just a thought, I don't know. And interestingly enough, it was just announced last week that Gloria's body is being exhumed 4 years later to determine the cause of death, considering the coroner was never notified, an autopsy was never done, but somehow she died of natural causes. So her body is being exhumed 4 years later. So we'll see what happens with that. All right, guys, so I know this is a lot of information already. We're gonna move on from 2018 to 2020. So Paul, one of the sons, was drinking and driving a boat. He crashed the boat and his friend Mallory Beach flew off the boat and died. He was set to stand trial for charges related to Mallory's death in June of 2021. But guess what? In June of 2021, just about a week before trial was set to start, Paul and his mother were murdered outside of their family home. Isn't that bizarre? It gets weirder. 3 days after that, Alec's father, the father's father, so the grandfather, died. He's always been a very prominent legal figure in the area. He died. We don't know if this is related or not, but he happened to die 3 days later, okay? Then, shortly thereafter, guess who was found grazed by a bullet, grazed in the head by a bullet on the side of the road while changing a tire? Alec, the father, one of the last two remaining family members. So as of this point, it's Alec, the father, and Buster, the other son, because Paul and his mother were murdered. They were shot. So now Alec is found grazed in the head by a bullet on the side of the road while changing a tire. Now at this point, you might be thinking, okay, well, someone clearly wants the family dead. Someone's coming after all of them. Maybe someone was really angry at Paul for killing his friend Mallory on the boat, and so he shot him and then his mother and then went after his father. Maybe someone's just really has it out for the Murdaugh family. Well, then it came to light that Alec actually hired his former client to pull up to him on the side of the road and shoot him in the head. So it was an attempted suicide, but it didn't work because the bullet only grazed his head and didn't actually go in his head. So now what? Well, the former client is arrested on charges of assisted suicide. Alec is arrested on insurance fraud charges because he admitted that the reason he wanted to die was to get his remaining son the $10 million life insurance proceeds. So Alec was charged in connection with that, but he was released so that he could go to out-of-state rehab for his opioid addiction. But he didn't last long because 1 month later, he was arrested on another insurance fraud charge because of the Gloria Satterfield, the maid situation. So Alec has been sitting in jail since October of 2021, and there's a lot of charges for a lot of things. But let's talk about the murders of Maggie and Paul since they're still unsolved. No one's been arrested in connection with them. This is what we know. We know that they were each shot with different guns. Paul was shot at close range with a shotgun. Maggie was shot with an assault rifle while running. Maggie's phone was found on a nearby roadway, but there's no explanation for that as of now. And according to Alec, he left the property to visit his mom, and when he returned, he found them shot in the driveway. So look, I don't know about you, but I have a feeling that Paul and Maggie's murderer is Alec. And you can tell me if you think I'm wrong, but this guy just is up to no good. He's up to no good. Now, I think what happened is that he killed them because he knew his reputation was on the line when his son was set to stand trial. Also, there was like a bunch of financial issues happening. At some point, there was a forensic financial accountant that was, I don't know, has some evidence about some financial issues. Maggie was threatening to file for divorce against Alec. So I think Alec was just like, you know what? My wife's about to divorce me. My son's about to stand trial. I'm just gonna off them, and then I'm gonna off myself because I don't want to get caught. But it didn't work when he tried to off himself, so I think that's where we're at with that. I'm almost positive it was him. But let me know your thoughts. Let me know your theories. This is the most twisted, like I said in the beginning of this video, this is the most twisted case, and it's not even over. It's not even over. So we're gonna see what happens, but thank you for watching this video. I hope you found this case as interesting as I do, as mind-blowing as I do, and I hope you stay tuned for the next YouTube video because it's gonna be a good one. And let me know what you guys wanna see. Let me know if you found this to be fascinating, if you want me to report on more cases like this and more high profile matters, which high profile matters you wanna hear about. So let me know, and I look forward to seeing you next time.